Hey everybody, this is John Schwabish from PolicyViz.com coming to you with another data visualization critique. This one of Connor Rothschild's The Bob Ross Virtual Art Gallery. I love how it starts with "You Deserve Some Calm," and the entire piece here, the entire background color really does evoke that calmness, doesn't it? So I'm going to walk through this visualization. It's a little scrolly telling piece. I think it's a very nice piece. But I want to talk a little bit about the data, because when you think about critiquing visualizations or judging contests or competitions, we don't always look a little more deeply at the data. So that's what we're really going to think about here. So as I go through this scrolly telling piece, you can see here, we've got a nice little grid, all in gray. There are 403 rectangles, says it right over here, organized by time. We can scroll through. Notice that the text is showing up on the left side, not on top of the visualizations as so many do. And that parallax scrolling can cause some balance and vision issues for some people. Notice you've got a little histogram here. The blue color in the column on the 12th area there pairs over to the color here on the left side. Very nice little touch. We've got the actual painting here, so you can see where these colors are. And we see that we have this one color down here with the brown. Let's keep going down. We get a bar chart that shows us all the colors that are used. Okay, this is where I want to take a pause for a moment and just let's notice here that Rothschild writes over here on the side, Ross uses a solid pure white in every painting, sometimes as base for the overall piece in what he calls liquid white, and sometimes throughout in the form of titanium white. So this is only listed as titanium white, although I think it's supposed to be two colors. Let's also notice that this bar and the bar for black gesso both extend far beyond 400. Okay, so keep that in mind, because I didn't really think much of it when I saw this, but I think it's maybe an issue. Let's see. Okay, now we're going to get to my favorite part of this visualization. Love this little strip chart. We've got each of the seasons and the episodes along the horizontal axis here. So along each of these, you can imagine them as columns. We've got each of the colors used in each of those paintings. Really love this little strip chart. Not sure we need the interactivity here, right? We know this is dark sienna, I guess. Okay, might be nice to be able to click and see what the actual painting is, or maybe the episode number, but we're going to get to that below, so that doesn't really bother me so much. I really love the way he has the text shaded in the color that's highlighted in the chart itself. And notice he picks out that highlighter, that outlier, that one use of the color Indian red that's down here in the bottom in season 22. Really like that little piece. And we get to the bottom here, a little more text, and then a little interactive piece where I can pick through and just scroll through all these different paintings. And I can literally click on each of these, which is really nice. The colors used are down here. Okay, really nice piece. I like it. As you can see, not much here for me to critique. It's a really nice, simple scrolling telling piece. Let's think about the data for a second. So I'm going to scroll over here. I downloaded the data. There's a link to the data in the full piece, which is always great. We've got the source of the image. We've got the name of the painting. Then we've got the season number. There are 31 seasons, 13 episodes each. Do the math or just count it in Excel, and we have 403 paintings, right? Okay, now we've got the list of colors and their associated hex codes, which is also very nice. And then we've got the core data sitting over here, all of the colors used, and a binary indicator that notes when the color was used in that painting. So in this first painting in season 1, episode 1, 8 colors used, and here are those colors that were used: bright red, cadmium yellow, etc., etc., etc. Okay, we can make this graph in Excel, and I have another tutorial on my Excel step-by-step playlist that shows how to do that, but that's not what I want to show you here. I'm just going to show you that we can transpose the data, and this is how I start making the strip chart in Excel. And take a look here. What I've done is I've identified the hex codes for all the different colors, and so for the 3 colors that have the same hex code, that are all black, have slightly different names, I've just summed those up. And so for black, for all the colors that are black that have this hex code of all zeros, there's 338 total uses of that color. For white as well, I find 400 total uses of titanium white or liquid clear, which is also the white color, in Bob Ross's library of colors. Let's look down here at this bar chart. This is the bar chart. I just took a screenshot of it. Notice that titanium white is far beyond 400. Black gesso is similarly far beyond 400. The data that I pulled down, I could have pulled it wrong. I could have tabulated it incorrectly. I don't find either of these amounts, 338 or 400, for either of these two colors. If we look at the crimson color, we go over here and look at the crimson, I get 380. And the Van Dyke Brown, a little bit smaller, a little bit less, used a little bit less, 371. That looks about right. Sap Green, let's go down and take a look at that one. We have 306. That looks about right. So something's going on here. And it's not a big deal, right? We're looking at colors and Bob Ross's painting, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But I think it's an interesting thing, and I kind of stumbled upon it. It's interesting to think about when we criticize visualizations, or we judge visualizations, or we review visualizations, we often look at the things that I talk about in this series: color, layout, font, graph type, how we interact with the visualization. And we don't always think about the data behind the graphic. And it's something that is a real challenge in the field of data visualization, something that I don't think we've talked a lot about in the field, and something that I think we need to start talking about a little bit more. So again, I love this piece from Conor Rothschild. I suggest you check it out. I'll put a link to it in the notes below. So this is John Schwabish from policyviz.com. Please check out some of the other critiques in this playlist and be sure to subscribe.